which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, we'll go on to our next item. We'll go on to the public forum. Do we have anybody that signed up for the public forum, Cindy? No? All right. Then we'll go ahead and move on to tonight's approval of tonight's agenda. Everybody had a chance to review? Any amendments or changes?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All right, I have a motion by Dan to approve.
Second.
I'll give the second to Troy. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, move on to tonight's consent agenda.
One correction in April 21st minutes. It had myself as acting mayor, councilors, Sheets, and then Thielen and Hushley.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Should have been.
You're there twice.
You
Can't be both. Becker
Can't be
Becker was
listed
missing,
twice.
so,
All right, I'll get that thing.
yeah.
All right. All right, any other amendments or changes?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second that motion.
All right, do I have a motion to amend the minutes from April, or from,
That's my,
Oh,
okay.
with the amended change, or the requested change.
All right, you still looking a second?
yeah, I'll
All
second
right.
it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so now we're on to item 6. This would be the, we should have probably worded this a little bit better, but this would be the residency at 657 Meeker Avenue, and chickens that they have. So if I could have you, I assume you guys are here for that? Okay. If I could have you come up to the podium, and then if you could state your name for us, that way we know who you are. And considering that this is dealing with also a minor, if we can kind of be mindful of not disclosing that information in a public meeting, that'd be helpful. All right.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Thompson.
All right. All right. So, thanks for coming tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Okay. So, looks like there was some chickens that you have out there, and your house is considered actually in a commercial reserve district, which isn't technically agricultural. So usually that's, in the ability to have, or the approval to have livestock, poultry, chickens, things of that nature, usually are reserved for agricultural districts in here in town. But from what I understand, you have a special case for this.
Yes.
Okay,
They're basically my daughter's therapy animal.
okay. All right. And then I know that you did provide some paperwork to Cindy on that. Okay. All right. So just so, the reason why I'm saying this is so you guys know that, here, trying to walk around the situation here. So with that being said, I know when it comes to therapy animals, there's, that does change things a little bit. The one thing that I was talking to Cindy about is that, is it true that you guys have more than one? You have multiple?
We have 6 hens and 1 turkey.
Okay. Okay. And then, is that, I haven't seen it myself. I haven't seen the paperwork that you gave Cindy, but is that covered in that too? Or I guess I'm trying to understand a little bit better that usually when I think like a therapy animal, it's usually like, cat or dog. Well, I've seen in the news, like people like, all the way up to like llamas, it's, people have different needs and stuff like that.
I
But
actually have another letter that I brought with today from her therapist that works with her at school.
sure,
She has another version of the letter.
sure.
So, but when we got our chickens, 2 years ago, we were unaware that we were in city limits. And then, his dad had kind of a thing about a lean-to we had, and so that made us kind of think, oh, are we in city limits? If he is, because he lives right by us, and then we realized that we are in city limits. And at that time, we had already had the chickens for a year and a half, and Zoe had grown attached to them. And so
Sure, and they're strictly pets, right?
they are strictly pets,
Pets,
yes.
or therapy animal, pet?
Yes.
Okay,
And we do free range them, so they roam around the yard, but we're willing to keep them in like a fenced-in area behind the garage, so they're kind of out of sight, out of mind, if we're willing to keep them.
sure, sure. And something that I was talking to Cindy about would be is that there is a way, there is a path for this. It would be called a zoning variance request. That would be something that you would work with our zoning board to get approval on that. And kind of understanding where your residence is at. You're kind of surrounded by farm fields anyway, so it's not like you're, in the middle of downtown. I guess I've been doing a lot of the talking here. Anybody?
You're doing a fine job.
Keep going.
To add that, I
Yeah.
was doing some research in Watkins, they actually approve up to 8 hens, no roosters in city limits. They do have to be registered, and I believe there's a fee, a $25 land fee, I think.
Yeah. This was way back early in me being mayor. We did talk about, because that did come up once before. And really the reason why we didn't go down the same path that Watkins did was, we couldn't figure out a good solution for, dealing with, the noise. Then some, depending on how cleanly it is, it does produce a smell from the refuse of having chickens. So that's why we didn't go down that same route as Watkins did. But there is the opportunity that if we can get you to work with our zoning board and try to, apply for a variance, and then see if we can get that through for you guys, so you guys can be you guys would be within statute at that point. Okay. I know I've been doing a lot of the talking here.
I think that's a good solution. Definitely.
Okay,
I like it.
Fine with it.
all right,
I'll
All right.
read it again.
Thank you for coming.
all right, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Nope, you can go ahead and leave if you want to. All right, have a good night. All right, we're on to, next item. We've got Resolution 2021-08, approval of the 2020 audit report. This was something that we skipped at our last council meeting when we went through the audit report. It's just approval of the report, so it can be submitted to state at that point? Okay.
I make a motion to accept Resolution 2021-08.
All right, I have a motion approved by Jan,
Second.
second by Troy. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, then moving on to Resolution 2021-09, resolution determining the necessity and the authorization of acquisition of easement. That's a mouthful.
That was written by our city attorney who has to have the approval to move forward with it, but didn't have a resolution on it.
Yeah, so this would be the Jack's Addition easement that we're trying to rectify for the drainage pond and the swell. Anybody have any questions? I will go ahead and make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-09.
Second. What does that all entail? Would
That-
you like to read that again?
Thanks. All right, did I have a second from you, Pat? All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Then we are on to the 2021 Street Improvement Project. Kent, you got ourselves an update.
Yeah. So we have the pre-construction meeting scheduled next Tuesday, which is us at the city getting together with the contractor and his subs and the private utility companies and kind of working through basically how the project's going to go, schedule, things like that. Preliminary schedule from the contractor so far, they are planning to mill the streets tentatively, weather permitting, all of that stuff, May 20th. So they would grind up the roads, kind of level it all out and pack it back down and leave that as the driving surface until the utility work, gets there. So that's the same thing we did around City Hall a couple of years ago. Then they think they would be setting up temp water the week of May 24th, also setting up the dewatering system. And then the following week, so beginning after Memorial Day, is when they would start replacing the sanitary sewer. And it would just carry on kind of, it would begin at Coleman and Brooks. That's the deepest point in the gravity sewer system, so that's where they'll start. They'll work their way kind of east and south through the project area from there.
Are they gonna try to hit that contaminated area right away, or are they gonna wait with that one?
Yeah, so the goal then would be, when they set up the dewatering system, kind of right out of the gate, they'll test the discharge from the dewatering system, figure out how that treatment needs to happen, bring that unit in, run that through the treatment system, test that, and if all of that is within the allowable limits, then they'll have to run that for a while to actually pull the groundwater down. And when that's ready, they'll move over there and put that sewer in so they can kind of use that as little as possible. Yep. So that's kind of the big picture schedule. They expect it'll take them all summer. The substantial completion date was October 15th, and their schedule does kind of track all the way through to that date, so. That's what I've seen out of them so far for schedule. Other information that may be interesting to you, we'll have our surveyors here tomorrow morning, meeting with Excel, because Excel needs to start relocating some of their poles and moving some of their lines. So that will be happening soon. On Friday, we are planning to video record basically the project area and the detour route. So you might see one of our employees in a red truck with a camera up on the roof, driving around the neighborhood real slow. That's what he's doing.
When does that start?
That is tentatively planned for Friday.
Okay.
And it should be a one-day thing, so if the weather doesn't allow it, you'll see him the following week. And also, we have a project website set up. It's Eden Valley 2021improvements.com. And people can go there and sign up for text or email project updates. So we'll get that out to the public in the newsletter that's coming out from City Hall pretty soon, and we'll kind of continue to beat the drum on that to get people to visit that website and get signed up for updates. And that's all I have, unless you have questions for me.
You said that was what? Eden Valley and
Eden Valley 2021 improvements.com.
I'm gonna critique you guys on your website.
Okay.
Is that right?
As of right now, it's just a page with a link on it.
What?
It's one, maybe 2 pages, I think.
I sent it to Counselor Bouchard and Becker so that they could at least get signed up, so that
I'm on it.
like texts and emails go out to the people who live there and know about it ahead of time anyways.
You know, I gotta give you at least a little bit of a hard time every time you're here.
It's okay.
All right, anybody got anything for Kent? No?
Reached standard.
All right, excellent.
Well, I got a quick question. So even though substantial completion date is October 15th, school starts September 1st-ish, do you think they will have it well enough so buses can get through there?
They will
I
have
don't know how
some.
many kids are actually in that area, but I'm assuming there's a few.
I would expect it that by the time school starts, late August, early September, they should at least have Coleman and Brooks, you know, some of those first streets that they start in, those will at least be up to gravel for sure by that time. So, yeah, there may be some, perhaps, I think they had Rose scheduled to be kind of the last street where they were doing some work. So maybe the buses won't be able to drive on Rose, but they'll certainly be able to get through the neighborhood.
Which actually brings up a thought, is this something that maybe we should kind of prep the school? Let them know that we're doing that, and it might not be,
Yeah, we usually get in touch with the bus garage at some point when that becomes a problem or a potential problem. We make sure we're talking to the bus company for sure.
okay.
Just kind of, so you're aware, when they set these schedules up, completion date's 15th, you'll never see one say July 15th.
No.
They're gonna run it from this to that, because they're giving themselves an out. So it could go better, but if not, they have till the 15th of October. So you'll never see it before that. But you'll have, as the project progresses, they'll typically do updates, and then you'll see that timeline start shrinking. But you never see them. They'll never put themselves in a corner. So just so everybody's aware of that, but they could run into problems, and it could be the 15th, so that's why you have them, so.
I was kind of figuring that, or I was at least hoping that they would build in a buffer.
Oh, if we had this project, I'd put October 15th on it too.
It's a wet part of town, if you get a wet season.
You never set yourself up to be, because then if you're wrong, then we are gonna argue about it, so give yourself an out, so. We all know that. You're good, Kent.
Good. All right, anything else for Ken?
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ken. All right, on to boards and commission reports. EDA. I'm drawing a blank. Sorry.
That's right. I have on there the resolution 2021-10, which is a resolution approving a development loan to meager leased housing. And do you want to get into?
Yeah, now it came to my mind. So, at our last EDA meeting, David Tisk came and gave us an update. And he did get the approval for the workforce housing grant, but it ended up being, I think if I remember right, about $83,000 short of what he asked for. And then, along with construction materials going up, significantly, it's putting a crunch on the overall project costs. So he approached the EDA and asked for a little bit further assistance. His original ask was to basically get now I can't remember what he originally came with.
150,000 forgivable loan.
Yeah. 150,000 forgivable loan based off of, that if they sell the property within 7 years, that we would get paid back in full. If it's sold after that, then we would get like some type of return, like 6% per year. We decided as an EDA to do a counteroffer on that. It would be a maximum loan amount of 150,000. So it would be more of if he needs, what his exact needs are. Would be 5-year deferred, and then we would give him 10 years to pay back the loan at 0% interest. And if he sells the property within that 10-year period, he's got to pay the property off at full, or pay the balance or the loan off, in full, if he sells it in that time period.
The other portion of the loan agreement is the $150,000, their company is matching that. So if he has an excess of $100,000, he would be asking for $50,000 because he's putting up the $50,000. So it would be 50% of his need with a maximum of $150,000.
It would be 100% matching, basically.
Yeah, that he's putting up those funds.
Up to 150,000 that we would go, the
Yeah.
EDA would go, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it ends up that it's, ends up being $300,000 more, then he'd put up 150 and we'd put up 150. If it's less than that, then,
But we'll get paid back the 100.
we will get paid back. It will be a 5-year deferred, so you won't have to make any payments on principal for the first 5 years, and then have 10 years to pay back the loan in full. So as an EDA, we thought that would be a good counteroffer to what he had placed, what he was asking for. If I remember correct, Cindy, he actually accepted those terms. So, I guess it's just up to us if we're accepting of that.
I think the EDA board was very concerned about the giving 150,000 and not getting it back. We felt that we wanted to receive that money back eventually so we can loan it out to other businesses, whatever. So, I'm glad he accepted it because it's a good proposal for him, so.
So where do we get that $150,000?
So we already have that 150,000.
In an account?
Yeah, and in the EDA, we've got almost 400,000 in there. A lot of that came from the sale of Brookview.
Oh, sure.
And when we sold that, we sat down and we split up the proceeds from that into different funds. And then there's a revolving loan fund that's in there too. But this would be taken from the Brookview proceeds.
Yeah, I remember that now, that we wanted to use that money to invest in the city.
Yeah, I mean, this is a 20-unit apartment building. I think if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, it was like $2.7 million project.
527 million there, yeah. Any plans on, if everything goes right, starting it in August?
Yeah, they should be wrapped up with their building in Watkins. And if the timing works out right, he'll just swing that crew right in here into town and start the building here in August. And then if things go well with renting that out, getting it rented out, and he is very interested in doing. It's a big enough plot of land he's got there that phase 2 would be to add another building eventually, if things go well.
Sounds good. Exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe, just for clarification for those that are listening, can you kind of go through what kind of apartments these are?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, this is going to be a 20-unit apartment building, ranging from 2-bedroom, or it's going to be mostly 2 bedrooms. There will be a couple of 1-bedroom apartments in there. It'll be 2-story. If anybody's interested in seeing what the building will look like, the one that's being built in Watkins he's just going to use that same plan with a few modifications. I think he's going to put like maybe bigger windows in it. I think he's even maybe looking on like the lower level apartments, maybe putting some patio doors on it, so there's some walkout options there. But it's pretty much going to be a mirror of what's in Watkins. So
would these be considered,
market rate.
market rate apartments?
Yep. Yep, and good thing, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, that was another question that, I know that's been brought up before. No, these aren't, well, these are market rate, so these will be, you remember what it was, like 800, around 800?
It was 875 for the one bedroom and 975 or 950 for the two bedroom.
Yeah,
I think there was like 14 two bedrooms and 6
one bedroom,
bedroom, yeah.
yeah. Knew somebody had the information. All right, any other questions? All right. If there isn't anything else, then, somebody would like to make a motion to approve resolution 21-10 and EDA resolution 21-01.
Make a motion to approve resolution 2021-10.
All right, I have a motion approved by Dan. Second by Troy. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, should have waited till you
No,
actually.
you're good. I nodded. You're good.
All right. Thank you.
Now we have to accept the resolution 2021 dash.
That was bundled with it.
That was bundled,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, then, planning, zoning, and rental, do we have anything for that?
No, there will be a planning meeting this month on 26th.
Okay.
We'll have a public hearing.
All right. And then park board update. Anybody want to give Dan?
Right now, the park board is planning an open house on June 13th, and still in the planning stages, but we're planning on having some music down there, some food to be purchased, possibly games. It's still early in development on the whole open house, but maybe some games for the kids, weather permitting. Zach said the splash pad will be open. Things like that, so. Just kind of a, open house, kind of maybe somebody will give like a little history of the park, when the city bought it, how it was all developed up to this point, and then also put together, be a talk about what's phase two, what's gonna be in phase two of the park. And, some of that will be, maybe some walking trails, some RV pads, just various things, so still in the planning, so
It's June 13th from 2 to 5.
from 2 to 5, okay.
All right. And, Zach, I see that you've done a little bit of work down there already this spring. So you got-
Yeah, we took out the fence posts and we put some concrete bumpers so people can not drive all over the grass. But, yeah, we got that going on and bathrooms are all up and running. Once it gets warm out, we'll get the splash pad going.
Awesome.
Those concrete barriers made a big, really dressed it up. It made it look nice.
Looks a lot.
And the benches are in?
Yes, one bench is in, it was donated by the Lions, and I got one other one to get in down there yet, but,
Cool.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks for the hard work down there, guys.
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Looks great.
Pass it on to Mark.
All right, anybody else? Any questions about park board? All right, on to the bills. Anybody have any questions on the bills? No? Anybody?
Motion to pay the bills.
All right, I have a motion by Pat to pay the bills,
I second that motion.
second by Jan. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, on to Cindy.
I have the financial report through April in your packet that reflects where we're at right now with our cash and our investments. The They have, $2,839,000, so we're sitting good, like that. Sarah's at a conference all week, so. We will never go to one employee here. There will always be two. It's been crazy busy here, so. And I'm meeting with Rural Water today to go over our water rates, so he'll have that report to us, although we're sitting well in anticipation of the bond for the street project, looking at where we're at with our water. And I'll have it for that workshop for sure, the numbers, so that you can look at where we're at with them.
So is that why he was driving around the streets today?
The real water.
Yeah,
Could have been, I don't know
Yeah.
if he's looking with you.
We went down to the south side of town to take a look at something. Yeah.
He's been working with Zach on leaks and leak detection and.
Yep.
Yeah. But he was pleased, we know we need to do a rate study, and they gave a number on what it would cost for our financial person to do a rate study. And that was, between 7 and the other one was closer to 10,000 to do a rate study. So I decided to call on Rural Water to say, okay, step one, do you do this, and can you put something together? Now, PFA may want something more elaborate, and then we'll go from there. But if this works, they do it for free, so, and he goes over every number, and so I thought that's the best place to start. Not that we don't want our financial, but let's start with free, and they're reputable, and they do this for all, cities all over, so.
wise choice.
It scared me there. I didn't budget for that. That's it for me.
All right. Anybody got anything for Cindy? All right, on to Ernie.
Got the monthly report, I emailed that to you a little bit late, but I got it to you. Go through, Sarah created a little bit of a new format for me, so I'm working through that, that's why you only have one line on the report. We're kind of trying to add some more stuff, give you some more detail in it, I'm gonna add a few more things to it yet, too, I think, so. You don't have any questions on that, that's all I got, actually.
All right.
How are you doing with cleanup around town?
Good, good, we got all the letters out, I worked with, Cindy and Sarah on that, we got everything out. And Thursday, we're gonna go around and check everything, and let Brian do that. So, pretty good, actually. We got a couple of our problems, they're doing really good now, finally. Seen the ones got it downstairs, and we're getting some stuff done, everybody else has been real good. We had quite a few people stop in, Sandy got it done with Cindy, so good, I think it's going real well.
Good. Excellent. Anything else?
No.
All right. Anybody got anything for Ernie? All right. Zach?
Yeah, I sent you guys those pictures of, what we're working on today. Between, two of the irrigators, there's a line where we, pump down in the fall to suck all the water out of the line, so it sits dry all winter, and one of the T's has a hole in it, so we're working on that today. And, yeah, so it's gonna, we're getting parts in the morning to get it fixed, but, right now the other line we were running, and that one actually is very, very much the same. It has a hole in too, so we have to get that other one repaired before we can run those other two irrigators, so. Right now, we can't pump any water, but hopefully if things go well tomorrow, we can get back up and pumping. So, yeah.
So is this a costly
Uh,
project, or?
it's gonna be a little costly, but I think we have it in the budget for this kind of repair, so.
Okay.
It really opens your eyes on how vulnerable our one thing malfunctions, and you get to see how, it's kind of, I don't know, it's a little scary, I guess. Opens your eyes to how important our infrastructure is, so, yeah.
How did you guys detect that it was leaking, or
It
pressure?
shot out of the ground, the water.
Oh. That would do it.
Yeah, Zach with the big bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, So, that's, yeah, that's all they tell.
All right.
Yeah, other than that, things are going pretty well. So, like Cindy said, I was working with the rural water guy. We found, we fixed, one hydrant was leaking. So we put some new internal parts in that. And that, solved one leak there. And then on the south side of town, we had a curb stand that they have you turn in a certain way, there's a drain back feature. Have you heard of those? They're, not used anymore because of that, because if they get turned the wrong position, the water will drain back and drain right into the ground. And I'm guessing it's been like that for just about ever, since it was installed, so. Yeah, so we found that and got it turned the right way, so it's not leaking anymore, so that's good. Yeah, so it's real good that rural water, that service is free. He came in and helped us find that stuff, so.
And when he's talking about leaks, when we do our utility billing and we're reviewing what we bill out and what we pump every month, or at the end of the year, our audit and the DNR, they want us under 10% from billing and pumping, and so we look at those numbers and he gives us, where are these 1 million gallons? Where are they?
Yeah.
Why is there 1 million gallons that we're not billing? It'll never be zero, obviously. We can understand that, but when the number is bigger and bigger, and then he goes out and finds one leak in a hydrant might be, 50 to 200,000 gallons that, when you think of 50 million gallons, a year.
Right.
Is being pumped through there, and he finds one leak at 100 or 200,000 gallons. It's a significant amount of water. It's not like it's just a little thing. These are
Right.
big leaks. This isn't just a drip in the sink. These are large numbers, and our billing to pumping is
Yeah.
it's getting closer and closer, so I know he and Sarah both have been working on how we report the water as well, that we're keeping track of everything, and he and Mark both pay close attention to it, so our numbers are getting better and better. Next year will be
Yep.
even closer, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
What kind of a percentage are we at for?
Last year, we were just a hair over 10%, so.
We were, and for the audit, they weren't particularly happy because we were a little over 10%. However, some of that had to do with the way we report our water. There was a leak at the water plant they estimated a couple $100,000. Well, it didn't get through our utility billing system, so it's not counted. So some of that is old school reporting to now we have to do some changing on how we report and how we're keeping track of our water as well. So it's a learning for all of us, but
Yep.
it's also getting some major leaks fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. All right.
Keep up the good work.
Yep. Anything else?
That's all I got.
All right. Anything for Zach?
My phone,
I guess that person's got a question for you.
yeah, and I haven't figured out how to shut my phone off. Sorry.
No worries. All right. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the agenda here. So our next meeting will be a council workshop on the 19th. Then we'll have our next our next council meeting on June 2nd. And then, as what was mentioned before, Fredericks Park Open House will be June 13th from 2 to 5 p.m. And then don't forget, we will be having Valley Days this year, and that will be from June 24th through the 27th. So, looking forward to Valley Days. I know the Valley Days committee has got a lot of good stuff planned for this year.